keep it simple. Welcome back to another episode of Keep It Simple with your favorite hosts, me and Pris.
Yes. Hi.
So today we're going to talk about something called intentional spending. Have you heard of this term before, Pris?
Yeah, it's something like about being mindful about your spending, right?
Pretty much. It's basically being intentional with your spending.
Wow. I could not tell from the name itself.
Yes. Anything to help you understand. Yes. I guess I've also heard of it, like, you know, here and there. Intentional spending is like an alternative to being very frugal. Like, you know, when people talk about being frugal, I always feel like it's a very...
all or nothing.
Yeah, it's like very like, you have to go hard at it or you don't do it at all, you know?
Yeah.
There's no in between.
I mean, this is the best thing I've heard all year, that I can spend.
That's right.
And actually, I don't have to be like totally frugal, you know.
So intentional spending is kind of like the solution, I guess, or the answer to emotional spending, because there's like no control, right? So how do you establish that control? So it's kind of like a system to help us filter out what is important to you and what is not important to you.
But what if everything... I just want everything. What if I just want everything, huh?
I feel like that's a you problem, which we will address later. You know what? We'll do it step by step.
Okay,
I'll do it with you. We can filter out what's important to you later.
Fine.
Yeah. So intentional spending is basically, it's a better approach than just saving all the money you can and being like super cheap and frugal. Because now what are you being guided by? You're not being guided by like just like a savings goal. You're being guided by your own values and your goals. What do you want and how are you working towards them? So let's do it for you, Pris.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you can save me from this dark hole
we will
that I found myself in.
We will certainly try. Right. So basically, there is an article online from this website called lvest.com. I don't know if you've ever been to that website. It's like...
probably not.
Clearly, yes. Anyway, so they have an article talking specifically about intentional spending. And to summarize, it's really... Firstly, what you have to do is find out what your core values are as a person. So what matters to you, you know?
I feel like these are very deep thoughts for shopping.
Okay.
But okay, I'll go with it.
Yeah, we'll go with it. Okay, so let me just maybe talk you through it a little bit. So first things first, you need to make a list of the most important values to you in your life. So these are like your core beliefs. These are things that will like bring meaning and purpose to your life instead of, you know, floundering in the ocean. Yeah, so this would be like, have you heard of the term true north?
Yes.
Yeah, so this would be like your guiding light, so to speak. So what guides you? What is the...
Okay,
where does your compass point? Yeah.
Can we like have an example of like what do you mean by values?
Okay, so they're basically like your highest priorities in life. What would you prioritize first? Like, for example, somebody could prioritize family. If they're like a family person, like every year must meet their relatives, that kind of big gatherings or something. Or friendships could be something that you value in life. Or personal security, and maybe it's financial, maybe it's like you think that owning a home is very important to you. If not, you will not feel stable, and then you kind of spin out.
Yeah, so
definitely. Yeah. So we can maybe talk about what are your own personal values lah. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I did my homework. Okay, based on like what I know, what are values, or like things that I prioritize from a day-to-day basis, it's health. Health is one of my priorities.
That's a good one.
Family meaning like just my relationships, I guess, with my parents, with like my partner, or like even with friends, I would say. Okay, maybe not family, maybe it's like relationships in general. And also adventure.
Oh, you mean like traveling or like rock climbing? I don't know.
Yeah, like trying new activities or like just exploring the world with all that it has to offer.
Okay.
So that means like reading,
right?
Educating myself about the world. Finding out new things about the world as well. So I think I would say that it's more like exploration
or like learning.
Yeah, right? Learning.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think mine are like a bit similar to yours, except that I don't have the learning one inside there. In fact, I actually made a list also, but then I forgot about health. Then you mentioned health, then I was like, oh, that's a good point.
That's right. Health is wealth.
Yes, correct. So I guess for me, my own personal values, what I value in life is like also, I think for me, security is very important. Like having a stable home base, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important to me. If not, I'll feel like super like adrift and like anxious all the time. I don't like that. Relationships also are very important. I think not just family. I think more friends than family actually, because, well, you know, sometimes you just choose your friends.
Yeah.
And that's valid, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not really that big on like family gatherings, seeing my relatives very often. Although if it does come up, then I mean, I guess I won't say no lah, but I think I prioritize friendships a lot. Yeah, and I think the last one would be giving myself a creative outlet. I think I value art in my life, like creative pursuits. I'm not talking about like, you know, sitting around painting the scenery and being like Van Gogh or something. No, but like creative outlets like you know, writing is one of them. Music is a big thing in my life as well.
Yeah.
And I think personally for me, if I value music that much, then naturally I would be channeling my money towards like audio equipment, stuff like that.
I mean, could get really expensive, to be honest.
It is. It really do be like that. Like I was just looking at a microphone the other day, and it cost like a bomb, a whole leg.
Yeah, equipment is just damn expensive. Even if you're talking about being Van Gogh, paint is really expensive, guys.
That's true. And if you paint a lot, then I mean you have to keep buying it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, you know what? We're off to a good start. We have our own personal values.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do your homework.
Why are you like this? Yeah, so I mean, for our listeners and our viewers, if you guys are still like not sure how to come up with what your personal values are, maybe we can use some framing devices to narrow down that list. Maybe these are values that were there or like present in your life during a time when you were like truly happy and truly yourself. Like when was the last time you were truly happy, Pris?
Oh, wow. Loaded question.
Big question, hard to answer.
I thought this was called like keep it simple. Why are you like keep it deep?
Keep it deep and impactful.
Okay, I guess like it sounds so stupid or like really generic, I guess. But I really felt happy yesterday when I went running.
Oh.
Yeah, like after you complete the run, then you feel like really accomplished. And then honestly, running is such a like self-reflective activity. Like I do a lot of self-reflection, and it's really a time where it's really just for me. So which is why I put like health and adventure as part of my core values because when I think about the last time that I was happy, it was like doing something that benefited my health and also something that forced me to go outside. Yeah,
that makes sense. I think the last time I was truly happy was like when I could spend time with like all my friends, like, you know, big friend groups. Those were good days. I mean, soon we'll have those days back again, but who knows?
Wow, how big are your friend groups? Now can go up to 8.
I mean, sometimes we break 8, you know? Like a lot of people are like, no man.
Popular.
I don't know about that.
It's like, do you see the contrast? My happiest moment is like me alone, and her one is like above 8 people.
I mean, it's not my problem. So go find more friends, Pris.
I guess I will. Yeah. Guys, hit me up.
So when were you truly happy and when did you feel like you were truly yourself, you know? Okay, so now you know what your personal values are.
But
yes, so I think now is the time where we move on to the next step, which is to map these personal values to our money goals. So like if you value adventure or something, then you would naturally like fine-tune your savings goal, money goals. Like what are you saving for, you know? Like if you want to save for travels, I suppose, or learning. Yeah,
I guess so. I would I guess then it would help to realign like what my goals are.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense if your saving goals or your money goals don't align with what you value most in life. Then why are you saving for them actually?
Right. Well, I mean, just because I don't list security as one of my core values doesn't mean that I don't value it either.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's just priorities.
It's just like these are the things that I would like to save for, or I would like to frame my saving towards. But then security is kind of like an inevitability, right? That we all need to have. Okay, not all need to have, but most of us would instinctively save for. You know what I mean? So when I list out my core values, I wasn't thinking about things that I would instinctively, like everyone knows that they need to save for this.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. But I mean, since security did come up in both of our personal values, it makes sense for us to set goals. Like, for example, for you have a BTO on the way, and that matters to you. It also kind of cuts into relationships with your partner also, right?
Yeah,
so,
I would say that too.
So it makes sense to focus, to use it as like a focalizer, I suppose. It's a word.
Oh, sorry.
It's a word.
I thought it was a bit.
It's a real word. I don't know why you jumped like this. But yeah,
I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
Clearly, you need to learn more, buy more books. Yes. So yeah, the BTO on the way. You want to save for that, and also if you value your relationships at home as well, you will also want to save your money for like emergencies, just in case you want to help them and stuff like that. So this is how your values can guide your money goals, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Really. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So moving on to like the next part of it, you can also use your personal values to like guide your meaningful decisions with respect to your finances. Like what you mentioned just now. What can you live without, right?
Yeah.
So
I just thought of something better that I can live without. Sorry.
What?
It's not taking Grab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
I find that I'd rather walk like 20 minutes than to take a Grab.
Has this always been the case for you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All the money that you saved.
Okay. There was like one point in time where like I kept being late for work in my other job. So then I kept taking Grab because my workplace was like really near. And that was a sorry excuse, and never again will I do that. So yes, I think vocalizing it and saying that, you know, I'm not gonna spend on this so that I can spend on things that really matter to me.
Yeah.
Like really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a big part of, you know, when you start to look at your budget, what you're spending on, think about, you know, what are the small wins that you can have for yourself that won't like hurt too much. You know, what I'm talking about is like let's look at your habits. Like you mentioned, Grab.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Even though the distance is so short, because then you keep justifying to yourself, it's okay lah, it's a short distance.
Yeah,
then
it's like it's
each
just
time
a
how much,
bit.
like $5, $6 or what?
Oh
Or
lah, like $7.
Oh wow. Well, actually I wouldn't. Actually.
$7 okay what? That's like your lunch leh.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe like if it doesn't go into double digits, it's fine.
Yeah. That's how I benchmark it also. Like
my God.
above $10, whoa, like you think I'm some rich person or something, but then like $9.90, I'm like, wow, what a deal.
Single digit, right?
What a deal.
Yeah. So that's one thing, you know, one of these habits that you can cut down, that you can live without. And I think even when it comes to eating out, maybe let's say you always eat at like somewhere costly or expensive, like Poke Theory.
Yeah. And downstairs.
It's quite costly actually.
Yes. Because it's sushi, like sashimi, right?
Yeah. So is there a way you can still get what you're getting from Poke Theory but at a cheaper price? So that means, do you want to downgrade to Cai Peng? I mean, okay, maybe downgrade is like a very negative word, but perhaps you can shift to Cai Peng. It's still fish and vegetables, just a shift.
No, but you're still keeping it relatively like atas though, because you're ordering fish at Cai Peng.
Hey, true.
Right.
You can order fish at Cai Peng. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Lucky you, I guess.
You keep the atas feeling, but spending less.
Yeah. So you know, can you make little tweaks to your spending habits or your habits in general? Another thing we can do is to look at what are you already spending on that you don't really need or use. And this one I can say a lot because like recently I did a financial cleanse. Okay, it wasn't really a cleanse. It was more like I just wanted to review what I was paying or the automatic payments that were happening that I forgot about. And I tell you, I lost so much money. I swear to God.
What? Like,
so okay.
Wait, is this one of those cases where you did like the trial and then you forgot?
One of them was that, and I was so upset at myself, okay? So basically what we're talking about is like, look at your subscriptions. I'm talking about things like Netflix accounts, what you're streaming. Are you still using that ClassPass membership? Are you? Yep, exactly. So for me, right, recently, I think this was like only yesterday or the day before only, because I saw my bank account balance, then sometimes you periodically check, then it's like this X amount, right? Then next day I check again, don't know, I just want to show a bit. Yeah. I checked, I was like, hey, the amount changed like a bit abruptly, then I was like, what's going on? So
like, and the change is not that significant, right? It's like a few dollars.
No. I think to me it was significant because I feel like I didn't spend that amount yesterday, so how come the amount went down by so much? So then I was like, oh my god, spider sense, So then I went to look at my transactions, right? And I was like, oh my god, like I saw these automated payments that were coming from Amazon Prime. And another one that I think sometimes they don't really put the name of whatever you subscribe to in there. Yeah. So I went to check. I went to PayPal because I do most of my payments through that. It's very seamless, You just log in and then you can just do it. So I went to look at all my automated transfers, and my god. So I had a Prime trial that I signed up for. I mean, but then after the trial ends, they always like automatically start you on a
plan. And so they usually start you on the most expensive one.
Yeah, so I cannot remember if that was the most expensive one, but it had been running for like quite a while, and I was like, ooh.
And you haven't been using it, right?
I don't order anything from Amazon Prime. I don't know why I signed up for the trial, so actually.
Because it's free lah.
Yeah, I think so. I just wanted to try. I looked at the Prime Video and stuff like that. So then the other one was the killer. Amazon Prime wasn't that bad.
It's quite cheap actually.
Yeah, so the other one was the killer. It was this resume designing service.
Oh no.
When I signed up, it was cheap.
Oh no.
It was like what, $5 USD. And then I saw the PayPal transaction history. You know how much I spent or not? How much I unwittingly let go of?
Wait, let me guess, 20 USD.
In total.
In total?
You're guessing I only lost 20 USD in total?
Oh, in total? Wait, how long has this been running?
I think for like 6 months or more or longer.
Wow, that's a bit hard. 50 USD total.
Oh, no. My sweet summer child. Oh no. No, because I think they switched me to a more expensive plan. So in total I lost $300 over. Because
Sing dollar.
I went from like a cheap $5 USD per month to like $25 USD per month. And then I swear I dissociated from my computer. I was like,
so wait,
I didn't even use the resume thing because I only touch up my resume once every few months.
Yeah, but then like $300 USD.
Yes. No. It was 250 USD, but then you convert to SGD.
Yeah, it's like 300 plus lah.
Yeah. So my point is,
wow,
it hurts. Yeah. So the point is to keep checking. I think once in a while.
Yeah.
Keep up with what you're subscribed to, and if you even use it.
Yeah.
If you don't use it, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Like me, that's the worst. Like how many times do I freaking do my resume a year? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's just my boo-boo and I have to live with it.
Yeah.
I try not to think about the money I lost. But yeah. So that's a very important part, Look at what you are spending on that you don't really need. You don't even use it. Yeah. So the next one is lastly, we should look around or negotiate for things that we need in life. I'm talking about things like payment plans, like your mobile plans,
Like you popian have to get one lah.
Yeah, things that you cannot avoid. So if you're due for like a recontracting, or like it's time, you can like change your plan. If you don't need a new phone, you can consider not getting a phone at all lah. Why would you spend that extra money? Just get a SIM only plan.
Yeah.
Because now they're like pretty popular.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So other things in your lifestyle that you could downgrade or scrimp on, like if you're not one of those people who play games every night and you need like high bandwidth. Basically, if you're not me, and you're me, yeah, if you're not Sope and you're Pris, you can consider getting a slightly slower internet connection. Usually those bundles are cheaper as well. And you could save some money on that as well. And if you don't use your phone that much, if you just use your phone like a phone, you just call, you don't use it for anything else, you don't need that much memory space, then don't get a phone that costs so much. Yeah. And the price differences are usually quite significant.
Yeah, it's a lot. Honestly, like
$100 or more.
Actually, I was just going through this with my family the other day because I realized that switching to a SIM only plan makes so much more sense or data only plan, you know, because I realized that in the end, although you're getting a big discount on those contracts with like StarHub or Singtel, in the end you're kind of paying for the same the same amount.
Right.
Yeah, you're not really getting a discount. You're just paying it in installment, right? So and if you're not planning to change your phone every 2 years or whatever, like it makes so much more sense for you to switch to a data only plan.
Yeah, exactly. That actually happened for me recently. I just switched my dad over to like a cheaper plan, a much cheaper plan for like a bit more what's that, data every month.
Yeah,
it was simple lah, because I just want to save money. I'm paying for it ma. So,
correct.
So we'll just switch these things that you can like get a better discount for, a better deal for.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Finally, now that, going back to what we're talking about, using our values to guide our money goals, now we can use these values also to help us determine like what we can cut out, especially if it's things that we actually want. I think it helps us to make the decision less painful, I suppose. Like, for example, you have to prioritize, right? Like I said, these personal values are your highest priorities in life. So let's say your core value is time with your family. Yes. So you want to get a new house so that you can move in together with your family. You want to afford that down payment, but you have other things to clear first, like student loans. Student loans are hell. They are personal experience. Yes. So before you can get to saving for that down payment, you need to address that student loan first. And so you see what I'm saying? You're just like prioritizing. You are thinking about how to plan your finances.
Yeah, I guess so. But what I'm hearing is that I just have a lot of debt to pay.
Yes, but you can't avoid it. You can't sweep it under the rug and be like, I don't have debt. Yeah. So you need to cut off all your discretionary spending. Things that you are like, what can you cut down on? And what can't you cut down on? And can you actually cut down on them if you try, if you squint?
Yes, but I guess it's more about like refocusing yourself to like what really matters.
Yeah, you have to be really disciplined about it, because you're like, if this is what I really value, then I need to clear the way for myself to get there, right?
Yeah,
then correct. If you don't clear your student loans, then how are you gonna save for your down payment? You can't do it. What? You have to start with the little things. No choice. You have to make sacrifices. Choice. So, do you practice something called money mindfulness?
I mean, obviously not.
Oh yeah.
I don't. I know.
If the last 10 minutes was any indication, we both don't have that in our lives. Yeah. So I think this is a very important part of intentional spending as a whole, because we have to be more mindful, right, about where our money is going. So I guess as best as possible, we should try and practice mindfulness every day or every other day. Ask yourself, or like regularly review whether your spending habits, what you've been spending on, do they actually make sense in the grand scheme of things? Are they taking you further away from your goals, or are they actually fulfilling you and what you value? Yeah. So it's about what trade-offs can you make.
Yeah.
Wow, you sound so sad. You okay not?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, you really have to decide what's worth it and what's not, lor.
Yeah. I feel like it's something that doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. I think it's something that you practice. You really need to practice.
It's like a muscle, I feel.
Yeah.
Because you live every day, every other day. It's not like exciting things happen every other day. You kind of get into this lull, this like, it's a routine, I come to work every day, 10 o'clock or whatever time your work starts, and then you go home and you do the same thing over and over again. Of course you will become a bit like, you kind of fall asleep a little bit at the wheel, so to speak. Yeah. And so taking an example from the article from the Elvest, for example, let's say you love to buy, like, I don't know, bubble tea. Didn't we used to have a bubble tea phase? Yes, we did. Yeah. So let's say you like to buy bubble tea every day. Think about your values, lor. Just ask yourself, does that like spending on bubble tea help you fulfill your values? The core value in like, will it help you spend more time with your family? Well, I guess not. It's a stretch. Unless you buy bubble tea for the whole family. In which case, I suppose you'll be spending more, but you'll be fostering good relations at home.
I've never felt so deeply about bubble tea before.
I'm sure bubble tea can be an emotional thing to some people. So, but it's really things like that. Think about like, oh, I'm spending on this. Does it help? Does it actually fulfill one of my priorities in life? Like if I'm spending on something frivolous, something else that is not, let's say, a music equipment, it's not contributing to my career, I suppose, as a singer-songwriter, then do I really need it in my life?
Yeah, true.
Can I do without it?
I guess another way to look at it is also like, I want to take care of my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So by spending on like things that relaxes me, it's also kind of, I don't know, in line with your values too.
Yes.
Yeah. But of course, that one is like, you need to be honest with yourself lah. You cannot be like, oh, bubble tea relaxes me. Well, I mean, okay, valid, but
you can come up with the reason if you want to.
If you want to lah.
But in the grand scheme of things, well, you only have yourself to answer to. At the end of the
true.
day.
Yeah.
When you don't reach your goals, then you're like, how?
Who are you gonna blame?
You cannot remove all the bubble tea from your system. What? I mean, you can, like, it's called peeing, but you know what I mean. You can't get the money back.
Stop.
Yes. So anyway, on that note, yeah. So I guess I want to open up this question to people who are listening to the podcast or watching us on YouTube. What do you guys value the most in life? Yeah. What matters to you the most? When was the last time you were truly happy? And how can intentional spending help you to get there, to fulfill these values, or to make sure that they remain actual priorities in your life lah, and you're not spending on other things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
Or don't matter as much. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So drop us a DM or comment on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listing out your top 3. I want 3 values.
Oh, she give me
3 core values.
so you all have homework to do.
Yeah, if I had to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah. So what do you value the most in life, and do your money goals help you towards them?
Yeah.
That's a wrap on another episode of Keep It Simple.
Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. And also leave a comment, especially if you like these faces.
I mean, even if you don't like these faces, please comment anyway, because we want to know what you think. And we're also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. So if you're on those platforms, remember to subscribe for new episodes. Okay.